Hey all you Sims fans, welcome back to the channel, and this is the first speed build for my Adventures in Neverland. I'm going to be redoing all of Sulani into various parts of Neverland from Peter Pan, and this lot here today we are going to be doing the wreckage of the Jolly Roger. Now this boat here is really cool, but it has pipes in it, and it's too modern of a boat, and I'm thinking we're going to need to change this so that we have a pirate ship wreckage. So I'm going to move everything out of the way here, and I'm going to pull out the pirate ship set from Get Famous and have this same entrance to downstairs, but we're going to have the pirate ship piece. So let's clear enough room. In my mind, I'm seeing there was a huge storm, the waves came over, and most of this island here, this section here, was submerged, and the Jolly Roger crashed into here. So all of this stuff in the corner here, I'm imagining, got washed away, got knocked over, and sort of damaged when the ship came through. And then I'm going to take these ship pieces, move them forward, and we're going to turn the stairs the other way, and then I'm going to size the ship up one size so I can bring it right up to this walkway and they can walk around, but it's going to look like this was the hull of the ship, that this was like part of the ship that they're going to walk down into. And here I put some wood paneling down, but I end up deleting a lot of that and then just using the paint for just a few pieces, because I want to make it look like it's sort of broken in parts of it, and the sand is sort of piled over it. I also use the terrain tool here and lift those sand dunes up so that, again, it looks like it actually is landlocked. It's not just a whole boat. It's a whole boat, but it's been broken and damaged, and sort of the sand has engulfed it a bit, so it is well and truly landlocked. And then I'm going to use some of this other wreckage here and add some vines to make it look like it's, it got locked here a while ago, and the island is sort of starting to claim it. And then around here, I'm sort of moving some of the boxes and crates around. This is going to be sort of a bonfire area where they'll sort of be able to do some outdoor cooking and where they kind of eat. Again, these are the Lost Boys who have found this ship and have moved in. And downstairs, I'm doing completely off the grid. This stove will work off the grid. It says so in the description box, but the bathrooms will not, and the fridge will not. So I'm going to keep that one stove and add a cooler. The story here is, as we start episode 1, there's been this huge storm. The pirates have all sort of broken up. Some of them are going to be living in town, in different huts and different houses. Some of them have amnesia. We're going to find Hook and Mr. Smee have found refuge in a little hovel, in a little cabin not too far from this wreckage. And Smee has been nursing Captain Hook back to health. We're going to find out if he remembers anything, what he remembers, and how things happened. But Smee has been doting on him and taking care of him like the loving, amazing partner and colleague he is. And the Lost Boys living in Neverland come across the ship and see it as a personal trophy to be living in the Jolly Roger. They don't know what's happened to Hook. They just know that here is his ship. So there's going to be parts of this ship that are decorated as it was for the pirates. So the back room here is going to be Captain Hook's personal quarters, the captain's quarters, and then these other rooms are going to be the bedrooms of some of the crew that have been taken over by the Lost Boys. So there's going to be some of their bunks in here. And then this main room here is going to be, originally when the pirates were here, it was storage for their supplies, for their food, for their booty when they would loot things. And the Lost Boys are turning it into the throne room for Peter. So that's going to be where their treasures are kept. It's also going to be sort of a playroom, but it's like where Peter holds court. So because I'm doing this right off the grid, we're taking the kitchen area here that was like the mess hall for all of the pirates, and I took away the fridge, so I'm putting this cooler in here so that there is space so that there is a way to keep food. Now on this lot, it is right next to the waterfall that's in Sulani. It's right next to a fishing hole, and I'm putting some of the shrubs upstairs. I'm putting some of the bushes upstairs that you can use as a restroom. So they have all of the things they need. They've got their beds, they've got a kitchen downstairs with a cooler and a stove. They've got the bonfire upstairs and outside that they can do like big cookouts in. And then they've got the waterfall is a place where they can do showers. And then they've got the fishing hole as a place where they can get food. And they've got to find renewable resources like fishing. There's going to be a garden upstairs so that they can produce their own fruit, produce some of their own food, and that's going to be this lot. Now, when I started doing this build, it was almost as soon as the new expansion came out, so I didn't know exactly what the rules were for being off the grid. I deleted the fridge and the bathroom that was in here thinking that that wasn't usable, but I've since learned that there are some facilities that are usable even off the grid. So I went back and put a fridge and a bathroom back in here that I'm going to show you right now. But when you see the closing shots, there's no bathroom because I had to go back and add that in. The lot that is up on the gallery now has a functioning kitchen and bathroom. There are also the shrubs and the waterfall for those things. There's also the cooler upstairs by the campfire. So all of those things are still there. And if you wish to keep it really rugged, go ahead and delete the bathroom and the fridge. But I put those in there so that it is actually a functional lot for you guys. Now, at some point, I'm thinking Hook may remember who he is. I mean, his clothes may give it away, but he's going to remember who he is. He may come across this ship and remember, oh my God, this is my home, this is my ship. So we'll see what happens when that eventually occurs. In the first kid's bedroom, I put some of these sort of stickers on the wall, and I'm thinking they may have found some chalk or some native dyes, and they've just sort of drawn these pictures over their beds as a way to brighten up their own space. They're making it their own. So the cots may have been there by the pirates. They may have had this rug there by the pirates, but they're sort of adding their own touches, and I really like that idea. In this little corner here, I'm looking at it as they moved in, knocked down that one wall, and this is going to be sort of a skill building area. I'm going to put the woodworking table there, and one of them may take up woodworking to start making some chairs. They may start making the things that they need. And as I was going through the debug, as I was going through the show hidden objects, I found this really cool guitar that is sort of, I'm guessing it, when you're doing the woodworking hobby, I'm guessing it's like an early thing you can build, because it's pretty rough looking, but I think it works. So I put it in, and I'm looking at it as that's something they're, someone could work on their music skill. And then in this area here, I'm putting in the llama game and the foosball table, just to sort of have an area where it's sort of like a hangout place. And now I'm starting to work on the throne room, and I really love this. When you see the movie of Peter Pan, most of the versions I've seen anyway, they always have this, Peter always seems to have this throne, this area where he holds court. And so I like the idea of him having that, and this chair that probably was in the captain's quarters has been moved into his quote-unquote throne room. There are some carpets, there are some rugs, some tapestries that they've just sort of thrown on the floor because they don't know exactly what they are. And then there's all this mismatched pillows that they may have gathered from the islands, or, they've just sort of found or made. And they've got all these different totally not matching, totally mismatched chairs in this space. Everyone sort of got their own seating that's just right. And then here I start working on the captain's quarters. I'm thinking this is Captain Hook's personal quarters. He's a learned man. He's been to school. If you watch my Create a Sims video where I make Captain Hook and Mr. Smee, you sort of learn where he went to school. But he's an educated man. He's a well-traveled man. And he really sees like honor and culture and sophistication as really important things that he holds in high regard. It's not like the rest of it where they've got like the little tiki torches that the Lost Boys would use, but this is Captain Hook's quarters. He's got candelabras that are gold or brass. He's got this globe for places he's traveled or wants to travel. He's got these really beautiful Persian rugs that he has probably looted off a ship somewhere or maybe brought with him. He's got this beautiful 4-poster bed with the curtains. He himself has a dressing gown for when he came to bed. So I like all of those things. When I'm trying to figure out how to furnish and decorate his room, all of that came into mind. And of course, if you see the cartoon, he sits down to play the pipe organ, and I think he does it in one of the movies as well, or one of the live action films as well. So in goes that. He's got his globe, and I want to put down a table because I see in my head he's got this space where he's going to have his maps, he's going to have his journals and his diaries and his books. So there's going to be all of that as well. So there's his little library. He's got a little smaller globe, and his books, of course, he can't have just a plain bookshelf. It's got to be opulent and very showy, and everything's just got to be beautiful. And again, going back upstairs, I want to put some of this moss because I'm thinking, again, this storm is going to be, the waves are going to be kicking up stuff from the bottom of the ocean. It's going to be kicking up things from the land. Plants and shrubs are going to be like stuck on top of it, and then the land itself is going to be starting to grow over and envelop this ship. And here we have our little garden area, and I'm putting out those bushes. I'm keeping the bushes well away from the eating area for hygiene reasons. It may not matter to the Lost Boys, but it matters to me. I'm a mom. Hygiene's important. We're going to separate those two spaces. But we are going to put a bunch of these shrubs up, these bushes for using the restroom. And then here we're going to have our little outdoor dining area. I'm going to put the fire pit down. They can have some fun. They can do some fire dancing. They can roast some marshmallows. There's the other fire pit where they can do like the grand feast and luau style. And then there's this horseshoe pit where they can play games. I'm just trying to find things where they're kids. It's the Lost Boys. Everything is about fun and party and adventure and putting off chores and work in anything sort of mature, responsible, or adult. And so I'm putting out this outdoor dining area. There's just fun things to do. There's the swing set. It is all about enjoying the sun, doing as little as possible to get by. In this household, we've got 2 teens and two children. That household may grow as we meet more kids. We might adopt a few. We'll see. Back down into Captain Hook's quarters, we're going to add a journal and a scroll. I imagine it like his secret plots, his secret plans, his secret research that he's keeping to himself. I'm also adding some cracks into the walls Because if this ship's been torn apart and landlocked and thrown around, it's going to be the worse for wear. And now I'm trying to go through the decor items in the rest of the ship. I'm looking at the kids have added artwork, have added paintings, have added drawings. And then in the captain's quarters, I'm looking at this great big map, and I'm looking at this big map, and I'm also thinking this picture here of a ship, it's not dissimilar to the one we're in. So I'm looking at it as the Jolly Roger was a very important ship, fought at sea and took over, and so he's very proud of the ship that he's taken over, and that's sort of a historical document of like the launch day of the ship from the Royal Navy or something. And so that's the first one. And then the second one, I blew up this map. He's a pirate, man of the sea, and a well-traveled, well-learned man. So that's there. And again, I'm adding some more of these little swirls and stuff, little paints on the floor. The kids are coming in here. They're finding paints and dyes. They're breaking bits of glass from the bottles. They don't know what liquor is. They're just finding these bottles that the pirates may have had and breaking them down and using them as mosaic tiles. I know my kids found objects are perfect for art, and they are constantly taking things and trying to find creative ways to use them. So that's kind of what I'm doing with the floor here. The Jolly Roger has officially been taken over by the Lost Boys and made into something very loud, very flamboyant, and very fun. Back to the throne room, I also put the mermaid chest out. I'm looking at this as sort of their finds, their treasures, their toys. There's this wicker basket with some plates in it, but it looks like a treasure chest, and they're kids, so in their mind, this is fine china, even though they're probably not very fancy at all. But to them, it's, in a fancy chest, it must be important. That is the Lost Boys loot. It's toys. And then here I'm wanting to make this room the hangout room. So I moved the Llama Llama game in here. They're going to be in here in the evening when it gets dark or when it's raining. And they might sit down and put on some puppet shows and have some fun. And here for their outdoor kitchen, I'm again using these just a mismatched chairs around the dining table. The one downstairs that's in the pirate's kitchen has all the chairs matching because it was here. That's what was here when they found the ship. But I like the idea of this outdoor kitchen, this outdoor area is all the stuff sort of the Lost Boys have pilfered and found or have made. And so it's way more rugged and rustic and found and used and broken and damaged. So that is the Jolly Roger. You can find this in the gallery called the Jolly Roger Wreckage. You can also find it using hashtag Adventures in Neverland, or you can just look up Silken Sim. It will be right there for you to use. Again, everything on here is off the grid ready. So there's nothing on here that will not work. So all of those things you need for your basic needs are there, and lots of things for entertainment. And overall, I think it looks really cool. This is one of the first builds I've done. Even though I'm still haven't officially built anything. I'm just sort of decorating stuff that's found. I'm really proud of this build. I thought it was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, please comment below. Let me know what you thought of this build or how you like it in your game. If you have any thoughts you want to share, things you enjoyed, please drop it down in the comments below. Any questions on things I did, drop it down in the comments below. Please smash that like button to let me know you are enjoying me doing builds, and if you're excited about this series. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I upload every Tuesday and Saturday and many days in between. So be sure to hit that bell so you get notified of new content and don't miss anything. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time and hopefully very, very soon in Neverland. Bye!